Good evening, viewers, and welcome to tonight's regional news. We begin with news from Barbados. The Barbadian former employees of Liat 1974 Limited are at the end of their tether. It's gotten so bad, depression has set in across the board, and one former employee even attempted suicide in the past year. And that's why they made an emotional plea Thursday morning to Prime Minister Mia Motley and the government of Barbados to come to their aid as a matter of urgency. Just under 100 Barbadian workers who were based in Liat's Antigua and Barbuda office were laid off last April and are yet to receive a cent of their severance pay. We now turn our attention to Ecuador. Ecuador's High Court has decriminalized abortion in cases of rape, a major step in the traditionally Catholic country. The Constitutional Court voted 7-2 in favor of declaring 2 articles of the Penal Code unconstitutional. The decision came in response to a petition from women's rights groups and paves the way for parts of the legislation to be changed. Abortion remains a deeply divisive issue in Latin America, where countries have strict laws banning terminations. The only places where abortions are currently legal in the region are Argentina, Uruguay, Cuba, Guyana, and parts of Mexico. Ecuador's current legislation allows abortion only when the mother's life is in danger or after the rape of a woman with a mental disability. With the court ruling, abortion in all cases of pregnancy resulted from rape has been decriminalized. The number of deaths related to COVID-19 has passed 400,000 in Brazil, the second highest in the world, as the country continues to struggle with its vaccination program. There were 3,001 deaths in 24 hours after a peak of more than 4,000 was reached at the start of April. The 14-day average of deaths and cases remain high but has seen a slight fall. Congress has opened an inquiry into the government's handling of the pandemic. President Jair Bolsonaro, who has frequently spoken out against lockdowns, masks, and defended unproved drugs as treatment, is facing widespread criticism and his support has plummeted. The outbreak has been fueled by more transmissible variants of the virus and a lack of coordinated national measures. The situation has improved in many areas, including where the health system was on the brink of collapse after states and cities imposed restrictions, but they are already being eased. The rate of occupancy of intensive care unit beds remained at or above 90% in more than a third of the states, according to the Health Institute Fiocruz, which said the scenario remained critical. And finally, Pfizer Incorporated's shipment of its COVID-19 vaccine to Mexico this week includes doses made in its United States plant, the first of what are expected to be ongoing exports of its shots from the United States, a source familiar with the matter has told Reuters news agency. The vaccine shipment produced at Pfizer's Kalamazoo plant in the state of Michigan marks the first time the drug maker has delivered abroad from U.S. facilities after a Trump-era restriction on those exports expired at the end of March, the source said on Thursday. The U.S. government has been under mounting pressure in recent weeks to provide surplus vaccines to other nations desperately in need as it makes a swift progress vaccinating its own residents. Many countries where the virus is still rampant are struggling to acquire vaccine supplies to help tame the pandemic. Pfizer will use extra capacity in its U.S. facilities to deliver shots abroad while continuing to meet its commitment to supply the U.S., the source said, adding that the drug manufacturer will also make shipments from Belgium. And that is all for your regional news. Thank you for joining.